I'm going ahead and stitching this down. And this is really the method that I use for a lot of ragged patching. And I'm just using a single thread here in a very small stitch. And really, with a tiny stitch like this that almost matches the thing you're sewing, and I'm just running right through here, right through from side to side, over, catching the edge, and going out into the ground a little bit, and then just clipping off. But with a little stitch like this, you don't really see the stitches, even though I'm not really doing or making any attempt to hide the stitch. I'm just making a small stitch. And you know, this is like so easy to do, and if you think it's ever going to come off, it's not true. I mean, this is a very secure way to apply one cloth over another. And, you know, you get the little bit of ragged edge, but it's not going to go anywhere. Even, you know, if you go back and try to take these off, it's just quite a job to even get them off. And it's totally secure, and you can also sew the other way if you really want to make it like part of the fabric that it's laying on. But you can see, you know, I haven't done this edge yet, but it's just not going to go anywhere. And what you get on the other side is just a bunch of little rows of stitches. But if you use a thread that matches this side, you might get a little more visual on the stitch here, but you really literally won't see it on the other side. It'll blend right in. So I'm using this piece because it was part of the process. You know, a lot of times I like to add the experiments that I work on during a big project because they are part of the story. And I think that they kind of belong there. So I'll be choosing a few more of pieces to break this up. You know, I've got a bunch of little things here that I've saved that will fit right in. And you can use pieces that are just left over from something else. Kind of apply them in here, and you can just work up an interesting surface. Even something like this, which is like a sheer Swiss dot. I mean, it could be placed over just a section of the dark, maybe, and just fit right in there somewhere. It just gives you a little bit of a change in texture or color. This thing doesn't seem to want to stay anywhere. But again, it still flows within your original design. Now I started using this a lot on the coma cloth, and I've got that here. Because I thought maybe I would show you some of the details of how that worked. I mean, you can see here that I chose pieces that were fairly close to the ground color. As a matter of fact, the color in the design here just fits right into the background here. It almost makes the ground flow right in. And then this was an old piece of kimono. And I did use pieces that weren't cut to any particular shape. They were just pulled out of the scrap basket and stitched on. And you can see they're on to stay. And here I used a little piece of ikat. I think this is from AC, actually. And I did stitch in both directions here because sometimes, especially with a contrasting thread, you can really, you can almost blend it with different colored threads and kind of really make it flow into the background. So let's see if we can find a few more here. I mean, here I used just a section of a print that was left over. And here you can even see, you know how a lot of times you get a lot of those little edges that are leftovers from something you cut out of something else. And it's just a really nice way to even just jack up the color a little bit, you know, like just punch it. Still a red section. Here's a piece of Grandma's old wool challis. But from a distance, that block of red still remains the same. So I really did use this a lot. Here's a little piece of my the man's old bird shirt, actually, which shows up in just about everything. So you can see it's just a really nice way to play around with the surface a little bit. And I really did it quite a bit here. Here's another section here. You can see I was able to kind of tint it to pink and really work some odd shaped pieces in. It's really fun to do, actually. It's kind of like painting with cloth.